I'm Aliana, Prana Clinic Yoga Therapy, and I'm excited to share with you today one of the foundational practices that I use with almost any of my clients, regardless of what health condition we're working on, and that's equal ratio breathing. It's something that's so incredibly beneficial for balancing the nervous system, enhancing a sense of calm and overall health and well-being. And it's also a pretty simple practice. It's a good way to get started with pranayama. Breathing practices can get a little bit complicated, a little bit challenging, but this is one that's foundational. Equal or even ratio breathing is something that is exactly what it sounds like. We even out the length of the inhale and the exhale. A lot of us might assume that that's something we already do naturally day to day, but often that's not really the case if we pay attention to it. Our breathing pattern can change depending on how we're feeling, if we're tired, if we're stressed, if we have had a difficult situation just happen, or if we're anticipating something happening, or if our body's been working really hard. So we'll go ahead and go through kind of the different steps of this that you can practice on your own, and hopefully it's something that you'll take into your day-to-day life to help you out. Now, to get started, just make sure that you're sitting really comfortably. So you're sitting tall. You can be sitting in a chair. I'm sitting in a chair today. It doesn't have to have a back, but it can, and if you want to be leaning back into it, that's fine too. And make sure that your feet, if possible, either planted on the floor, or you could cross your legs if that's something that you normally do anyway. Whatever is a really comfortable upright position that you could be in is the one to start in. If you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to. You could also choose to keep your eyes open. If you do keep your eyes open though, try to pick a focal point. So just one object, or maybe even one place on the screen in front of you, to keep your gaze focused so that you're not having a lot of visual distraction. You want to start to turn the awareness inward as much as possible. Once you're settled, just let yourself breathe naturally in and out through the nose. If for any reason it's uncomfortable to breathe through the nose, then you're welcome to breathe out through the mouth, just lips slightly parted. And see if you can keep your inhales always through the nose. And as you observe your natural rate of breathing, just notice how it feels. Do you feel fast, slow, deep, or shallow? Once you feel like you've settled into a bit of a rhythm, you're then going to start to count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. So you can count at whatever speed feels natural for you inside your head. You don't need to count out loud because we're just breathing right now. And as you start to breathe in, count from a count of 1 all the way until you've finished your inhale. You're at the top of your inhale. And then starting again from a count of 1, start to count the length of your exhale as you breathe out. So starting 1, breathing in, you might get to 4 or 5 or 6. And then as you exhale, starting from 1 until you finish breathing all of the air out. Maybe just do this for a few breaths so you get a sense of what the average is. Now notice, which of those numbers was longer? Was your inhale longer than your exhale? Was your exhale longer than your inhale? Were they the same? They might already be the same. None of those is wrong. It's just good to start to notice what our breathing patterns are. And you might find that day to day when you sit to do this practice, it changes. Okay, now to start moving towards the equal ratio breathing. The way we're going to do that is I want you to take the number that was longer. So if your inhale was longer, you're going to take whatever that number was. If your exhale was longer, then you're going to take whatever that number was. So for example, if you counted 4 on your inhale and a 3 on your exhale, then you're going to go with the number 4. Say you counted 3 on your inhale and a 5 on your exhale, then your number is going to be 5. So identify whatever your number is for the next practice. And now as you breathe in and out, you're going to try to make both the inhale and the exhale match that new number. So again, as I said before, your number was 4. You're going to inhale for a count of 4 and then exhale for a count of 4. If your number was 5, you're going to inhale for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5. And you might find that you need to play with this a little bit, that it doesn't feel quite natural. You are now controlling your breathing. And so it might take a few rounds of breath till you get to a pattern where you feel like you're pacing yourself, so that once you get to that number, you've just finished your inhale. And then again, once you get to that number, as you breathe out, you've just emptied out your lungs completely. So that might mean that you're trying to pace the speed of your breath, or you're trying to get more air in or exhale further so that you can get to that number. So go ahead and try that for a few rounds. This might feel a little bit challenging. It might require more of your focus, but it shouldn't feel like it's stressing you out, like it's impossible to do, like it's making you uncomfortable. So it's just enough to be a new challenge for you. But if it's feeling too difficult, then you might want to make your number a little bit smaller. So if 5 feels like too much, you might want to try 4. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to work with that. All right. So now just go ahead and relax. Go back to whatever your natural rhythm of breathing is, so you don't need to control it for a moment, and notice what you feel. You might notice a shift in energy levels, your heart rate, what your natural breathing rhythm is like right now, speed of the thoughts. And so just make a note of that. And then we're going to try to do a little bit more. So if that felt comfortable, you're going to take whatever your number was and add 1 to it. So if your number was 4, you're now going to be working with the number 5. If your number was 5, you're going to work with the number 6. If the number you used the last time was already challenging for you, then stick with that number and continue practicing with that. So taking either the number you used before or whatever your new number is, adding 1 to it, you're going to go back again to an even ratio of breathing. So your inhale is going to be that number, and then your exhale is going to be that length. And be patient with yourself. It takes a little time to get the knack for it sometimes. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a few rounds in. That's something that you can practice. I would say at least practice 10 rounds of breathing when you first start this. It takes a little time to get into the rhythm, to find the rhythm. And you could do it for as long as you want. This is a breathing practice that, if we're actually breathing evenly in and out, keeps our oxygen levels balanced, keeps our nervous systems balanced. It's not the type of breathing practice that creates huge shifts. So it's something that you can do anytime for as long as feels comfortable. If you notice that it has a certain effect on you that you feel is helpful, for example, some people find this to be very calming for their nervous system, kind of brings down any type of stress or anxiety, then feel free to take advantage of that. You might notice when you're starting to feel stressed, and you can pull up this type of breathing, starting with a smaller number. Generally that tends to be more accessible when we're feeling stressed. And then after a few repetitions, maybe adding a little bit more time and starting to slow your breath down can help slow down the thoughts, slow down any reaction, and reduce any sense of stress and anxiety. So I hope you enjoy this practice, and I look forward to any questions or comments that you have on this. Please share them below. I'll answer as best as I can without necessarily knowing your specific situation. If you are curious about these types of practices, I'm going to be sharing them more here. So please subscribe, follow me. I'm also on Instagram. And you can visit my website if you want more information on working with me directly, or if you have any other types of questions.